Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Clarity English Studio, the podcast where real English meets real life and where every learner is welcome no matter where they're starting from.
Hey, so glad you joined us today. If you're a beginner, if you're just starting your English journey, this episode is made completely for you. We designed it with you in mind.
And if you've been learning for a while but you still feel nervous in real conversations, this one is for you too. Because sometimes going back to basics is the most powerful thing you can do.
Today's episode is something a little different and a lot of fun. We're going to walk through 20 simple, real-life English conversations, the kind you'll actually use at home, at a cafe, at work, when meeting someone new, when shopping, when asking for help.
These are A1 to A2 level dialogues, short, clear, natural. But don't let beginner level fool you. These conversations are things even advanced learners use every single day.
So whether you're listening to improve your speaking, your listening, your confidence, or all three, you are in the right place. Let's go.
And before we start, please subscribe to Clarity English Studio and hit that like button. It genuinely helps us reach more learners around the world, and it keeps us going.
Okay, let's get into it. Conversation 1. Meeting someone for the first time.
This is probably the most common situation in all of English. You meet someone new. What do you say? Here's how it goes.
Hi, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mike. I'm Anna. Nice to meet you, too. Are you new here?
Yes, I just started this week. What about you?
I've been here for about 6 months. Welcome.
Thank you so much. That's very kind.
Now let's look at what made that conversation work. Nice to meet you. This is one of the first phrases every English learner should know. It's polite, it's warm, and it works in every situation.
And notice, what about you? That's a beautiful little phrase for keeping a conversation going. Instead of letting it stop, you turn it back to the other person.
Always useful, always natural. Okay, conversation 2. Asking how someone is.
Hey, Anna. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. A little tired, but good. How about you?
I'm great, actually. Had a really nice morning.
Oh, that's good to hear.
This conversation is so simple, but learners often overcomplicate it. They think they need to say something impressive, but I'm good thanks is completely perfect.
And a little tired but good, that's very natural. Real people say things like that, not just fine. A small extra detail makes you sound much more fluent.
Conversation 3. Ordering food at a cafe.
Hello, what can I get for you today?
Hi, I'd like a coffee, please. A flat white, if you have it.
Of course. Anything else?
Yes, and a blueberry muffin, please.
Sure, that'll be £4.50.
Here you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll have that ready in just a moment.
Great. Thank you so much.
Let's notice a few things here. I'd like, that's I would like in its short form. It's polite, it's natural, and it's exactly what people say when ordering food or drinks.
And notice anything else? You'll hear this constantly in shops and cafes. It means, is there something more you want? A simple, no thank you, or yes and also is all you need.
Conversation 4. Asking for directions.
Excuse me, could you help me? I'm looking for the post office.
Of course. So you go straight down this road, then turn left at the traffic lights. It's just after the pharmacy. You can't miss it.
Go straight, then turn left at the traffic lights. Got it. How far is it?
About 5 minutes on foot.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Good luck.
Excuse me, always start with this when approaching a stranger. It's polite and it signals that you'd like their attention.
And got it. That's a very casual, natural way of saying I understood. It's short, it's confident, and native speakers use it all the time.
Conversation 5. Talking about the weather.
It's so cold today, isn't it?
I know. I wasn't expecting it to be this cold. Did you see the forecast?
Yes, apparently it's going to stay cold all week.
Oh no, I really need to find my winter coat.
Me too, actually.
Weather is the most classic small talk topic in English, especially British English. If you can talk about the weather naturally, you can start a conversation with almost anyone.
And notice isn't it at the end. That's a question tag. It invites the other person to agree or respond. It's very natural and makes the conversation feel friendly and open.
Conversation 6. Introducing a friend.
Mike, I'd like you to meet my friend Sarah. Sarah, this is Mike.
Hi, Sarah. It's great to meet you. Anna's told me a lot about you.
Oh, really? Good things, I hope.
Only good things, I promise.
I'd like you to meet. This is the most natural way to introduce two people to each other, smooth and polite.
And Anna's told me a lot about you. This is such a warm thing to say when meeting someone for the first time. It makes the other person feel valued and known.
Conversation 7. Shopping for clothes.
Excuse me, do you have this jacket in a medium?
Let me check for you. One moment. Yes, we do. Here you go.
Great, thank you. Can I try it on?
Of course. The fitting rooms are just over there on the left.
Perfect. And if it doesn't fit, can I exchange it?
Absolutely. Just keep your receipt.
Thank you so much.
Can I try it on? Essential phrase for clothes shopping. Always useful, always natural.
And can I exchange it? Another very practical one. You're asking if you can swap it for a different size or color. Keep that one in your vocabulary.
Conversation 8. Making plans with a friend.
Hey Anna, are you free on Saturday?
Saturday? Let me think. Yes, I think I'm free in the afternoon. What are you thinking?
I was thinking we could go for a walk and maybe get lunch somewhere.
That sounds lovely. What time were you thinking?
Maybe around noon?
Perfect. Let's do it.
Are you free? A natural, casual way to ask if someone is available. Much more relaxed than, are you available, which sounds a bit formal.
And what are you thinking? This invites the other person to share their idea or plan. It keeps the conversation collaborative and easy.
Conversation 9. At the doctor's office.
Good morning. I have an appointment at 10 o'clock. My name is Anna Clark.
Good morning, Miss Clark. Let me check. Yes, I have you here. Please take a seat and the doctor will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Is it okay if I fill in this form while I wait?
Of course, please go ahead. Here's a pen.
This conversation is so useful. Medical situations can feel stressful, but if you know a few key phrases, you'll manage just fine.
I have an appointment, clear and direct. Please take a seat. You'll hear this in waiting rooms, offices, anywhere professional. And shortly just means soon.
Conversation 10. Talking about your job.
So Anna, what do you do for work?
I'm a teacher. I teach English to adults, mostly online. What about you?
I work in IT. I fix computers and help people with technical problems.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Do you enjoy it?
Most of the time, yes. It can be stressful, but I like solving problems. What about you? Do you enjoy teaching?
I love it. Every day is different.
What do you do for work? This is the standard way to ask someone about their job in English. Not what is your job? That sounds a little formal. What do you do is much more natural.
And notice how both of us answered and then asked a question back. That's the secret to keeping any conversation alive. Always give a little information and then invite the other person to share too.
Conversation 11. Asking for help in a supermarket.
Excuse me, I'm looking for olive oil. Could you tell me which aisle it's in?
Sure. That would be aisle 4 on the left side, about halfway down.
Aisle 4, left side. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Let me know if you need anything else.
Could you tell me? This is a polite, soft way to ask for information. More gentle than where is, and very natural in shops, offices, and public places.
Conversation 12. Talking about hobbies.
Mike, do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I really enjoy cooking. I find it relaxing. And I go running a few times a week. What about you?
I love reading. I try to read every evening before bed, and I've recently started learning to paint, which has been really fun.
Oh, painting. That's amazing. Are you enjoying it?
I'm really enjoying it. I'm not very good yet, but that's part of the fun.
I really enjoy and I love. These are warm, expressive ways to talk about hobbies. Much more interesting than just I like.
And I've recently started. That present perfect phrase is perfect for talking about something new in your life. It signals that something has just begun and is continuing now.
Conversation 13. Asking about someone's family.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I have one older brother. He lives in Manchester. What about you?
I have a younger sister. We're very close. She actually lives nearby, so I see her quite often.
Oh, that's nice. Do you get along well with your family?
Yes, really well. We try to have dinner together every Sunday.
That sounds lovely.
do you get along well? This means, do you have a good relationship? It's a natural, caring question, and it leads to really warm conversation.
Conversation 14. Talking on the phone.
Hello?
Hi, Anna. It's Mike. Is this a good time to talk?
Hey, Mike. Yes, of course. What's up?
I just wanted to check. Are we still meeting tomorrow at 2?
Yes, absolutely. Same place as before?
Yes, exactly. Perfect. See you tomorrow then.
Great. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Is this a good time to talk? Always start a phone call with this. It's respectful and considerate. The other person might be busy, and asking shows you care about their time.
And what's up? Very casual and friendly. It's a natural way to say, why are you calling? Or what did you want to say among friends?
Conversation 15. At a hotel reception.
Good evening. I have a reservation under the name Mike Chen.
Good evening, Mr. Chen. Let me look that up. Yes, I have your booking here. A double room for 2 nights?
That's right. Is breakfast included?
It is. Breakfast is served from 7 to 10 in the morning in the dining room on the ground floor.
Wonderful. And what's the Wi-Fi password?
It's on the card inside your room, but if you need anything at all, just call reception.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Enjoy your stay.
Hotel conversations are so practical. I have a reservation, clear and direct. And is breakfast included? One of the most common questions at any hotel check-in around the world.
Conversation 16. Talking about your hometown.
Anna, where are you from originally?
I'm from a small town in the north of England. It's quite quiet, not very big, but I love it. What about you?
I grew up in London, but I moved away a few years ago. It was exciting, but quite busy for me.
Do you miss it?
Sometimes. I miss the food and the energy, but I prefer the slower pace now.
Where are you from originally? The word originally makes this question feel more specific and thoughtful. It's asking where you grew up, not just where you live now.
And do you miss it? Such a simple question, but it opens up really genuine conversation about feelings, memories, and home. People love talking about where they come from.
Conversation 17. Asking for the time.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
Sure, it's just gone 3:30.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize it was that late.
No worries.
Short and sweet, but really useful. Do you have the time? That's the natural way to ask, not what time is it, which sounds a bit abrupt. Do you have the time is softer.
And just gone 3:30 means it's a few minutes after 3:30. You'll hear time expressed this way a lot in British English.
Conversation 18. Apologizing and responding to an apology.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot to reply to your message yesterday.
Oh, don't worry about it at all. I know you've been really busy.
I should have got back to you sooner. It won't happen again.
Honestly, it's fine. No harm done.
Apologies are a really important part of social English. I'm so sorry, sincere and warm. And I should have. That's a phrase of genuine reflection. You're acknowledging what you could have done differently.
And no harm done, this is a lovely, reassuring response. It tells the other person that no damage was caused, everything is okay, and they shouldn't feel bad.
Conversation 19. Giving and receiving a compliment.
Anna, I have to say, your presentation today was really impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. I was actually quite nervous.
You couldn't tell at all. You seemed really confident.
Honestly, I spent a lot of time preparing. I'm glad it came across well.
It really did. Well done.
Compliments are wonderful, but receiving them can be tricky for learners. Many people just say, no, no, or wave the compliment away. But in English, it's natural and gracious to say thank you and acknowledge the kind words.
And adding a small, honest detail like, I was actually quite nervous, makes you sound real and relatable. People connect with authenticity.
Conversation 20. Saying goodbye.
It was so lovely seeing you today, Anna.
You too. It's always so nice to catch up. We should do this more often.
Absolutely. Let's not leave it so long next time. Take care of yourself.
You too, Mike. Have a wonderful evening. Safe travels home.
Thanks. Speak soon.
Speak soon.
And that's our 20th conversation. And what a note to end on. Saying goodbye in English is warm and full of feeling.
It was lovely seeing you. Past tense, expressing that you genuinely enjoyed the time together. Let's not leave it so long next time, meaning let's meet again sooner.
And speak soon, a casual, friendly farewell that implies you'll be in touch, lighter than goodbye and very natural between friends.
Okay, we've been through all 20 conversations. Let's take a moment to reflect on what made every single one of them work.
First, they were short. Real conversations don't need to be long. A few lines, genuine and clear, is all it takes.
Second, they were polite but not stiff. You don't need formal language to sound respectful. Excuse me, thank you, I appreciate it. These small phrases go a very long way.
Third, questions kept the conversation going. Almost every exchange had someone asking something back. That's the heartbeat of any good conversation.
And fourth, the language was honest. People mentioned being tired, being nervous, not being very good at something yet. Real English includes vulnerability. It includes being human.
If you're a beginner, here's your challenge for this week. Pick just 3 of these 20 conversations. Read them out loud. Practice them. Say them to yourself, to a friend, to the mirror. It doesn't matter.
The more you say these phrases out loud, the more your mouth gets used to them. And the more your mouth gets used to them, the more they'll naturally appear when you need them in a real situation.
You don't need to master all 20 at once. Start with 3, then 5, then 10. Take your time.
Learning a language is not a race, it's a journey. And every conversation you practice, no matter how small, is a real step forward.
Anna, I want to say something to anyone who's at the very beginning of their English journey.
Please do.
Starting is the hardest part. Opening your mouth for the first time, saying something in a language that isn't yours, that takes real courage. And if you did that today, even just by repeating something from this episode, I want you to know that counts.
It absolutely counts. Every word you try is a word your brain is learning to own. Every sentence you attempt is building something inside you that will last.
Language learning is one of the most human things you can do. It's how you connect with new people, explore new places, and open new doors.
And the fact that you chose to spend this time here, listening, learning, growing, that tells us everything we need to know about you.
You're the kind of person who shows up, and showing up is how everything gets better.
We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 20 conversations was most useful for you? Is there a situation we didn't include that you'd love to see in a future episode?
Tell us. We genuinely read everything you write, and your feedback helps us make every episode better.
Share this episode with someone who's just starting to learn English. It might be exactly what they need to feel encouraged and ready to try.
Subscribe to Clarity English Studio so you never miss a new episode. We are here every week with more real, natural, everyday English made with real care for real learners.
I'm Arna.
And I'm Mike.
And this is Clarity English Studio.
Keep speaking.
Keep growing.
And remember, every conversation starts with just one word.
So say yours.
See you in the next one.